Hey everyone, and welcome to Study Hall. You know, I love a good deep dive, and today we're tackling a topic that I think is going to be pretty fascinating.
Yeah, this should be fun.
We're going to try to unpack the epic tale of dog domestication.
From wolves to woof.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, and we've got some really interesting research here, all sorts of stuff about the earliest encounters between wolves and humans to the science behind the human-dog bond. I think we're going to uncover some pretty amazing stuff today.
I think so too.
So let's imagine ourselves way back in time, back to the prehistoric world
Okay.
where humans are, hunters and gatherers kind of figuring out this whole survival thing.
Right.
And I just have this image in my mind of, these wolves kind of like lurking at the edges of campfires,
Yeah.
eyeing those leftover bones.
Drawn in by that scent.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
And so it makes me think like, were these the aggressive wolves or were these kind of the wolves that were...
Well, that's a great question. And it kind of gets to the heart of this whole self-domestication idea.
Okay.
The wolves that were more likely to thrive in this scenario were probably the ones who were a bit more comfortable around humans.
Right.
A little less afraid. Maybe they were even a little bit more curious. And those were the ones that would have gotten more consistent access to food scraps.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe even some protection from larger predators just by being near humans.
It's like a win-win.
Exactly. And over time, those traits, the calmness, the ability to tolerate humans, those would have been the ones that were passed down.
Right.
Because those wolves were more successful at surviving and reproducing.
So you're saying it wasn't necessarily humans setting out to, tame wolves.
Right.
But it was more of a process of wolves sort of self-domesticating.
Exactly. That's one of the leading theories in the field.
Wow, that is so cool.
It really is.
Okay, so now we've got these proto-dogs hanging around human camps.
Yeah.
They're getting more comfortable. But how did their role evolve from, just scavengers to something more?
Well, let's picture early humans trying to hunt something like a mammoth.
Okay, huge animal.
Huge, right. Incredibly dangerous. Now imagine those early humans having these proto-dogs alongside them.
Oh, wow, yeah.
With their incredible sense of smell.
Right.
Their speed and their pack instincts.
That changes everything.
Absolutely. Suddenly, humans had a major advantage not just in taking down prey, but also in tracking, and maybe even as an early warning system against other predators.
So it's like having this built-in alarm system and hunting partner all in one.
Exactly.
I mean, that must have been a game changer for their survival.
Oh, absolutely. And, as humans transitioned to agriculture, dogs went from being just hunting buddies to essential partners.
Oh, yeah, right.
For managing livestock.
Right.
You think about breeds like the Anatolian Shepherd or the Great Pyrenees.
Right.
They were bred for their size and their protective instincts.
So like those big fluffy dogs we see guarding flocks today.
Yes, those instincts go way back.
And their ancestors were like the guardians of these early farms.
Precisely. And then there are the herding dogs.
Right.
Border collies, Australian cattle dogs, bred for intelligence and obedience.
Oh, yeah, they're so smart.
Without them, humans would have struggled to control large herds of livestock.
Right.
It would have been nearly impossible to make agriculture work on a large scale.
So these dogs were really shaping the success of those early farming communities.
They were pivotal. I mean, it's mind-blowing to think about how much we owe to these animals.
It really is. But, it's not just about their practical roles, right? Dogs also became really important in a spiritual sense.
Oh, absolutely.
Like in ancient Egypt, they had Anubis, the jackal-headed god of the afterlife.
Right, and you see similar reverence for dogs in cultures all over the world.
It's true.
It makes you wonder why they were so important in the beliefs of so many different cultures.
Yeah, like, was it just their usefulness or was there something more?
It's a great question, and I think it speaks to their ability to connect with us on a much deeper level.
Right.
An emotional level that goes beyond language or specific cultural practices.
Yeah, like a connection that transcends all of that.
Exactly, and it's something that we're still trying to understand today.
That's fascinating.
It really is.
Wow. Okay, so we've gone from, like, wolves sneaking around campfires to, ancient Egyptian gods and Roman war dogs.
Yeah, it's quite a journey, isn't it?
It really is. It makes you think about all the different ways dogs have been helping humans throughout history.
Oh, absolutely. And it's incredible how those instincts, those skills they developed back then have evolved into the roles they play today.
Like, what are some examples of that?
Well, think about guide dogs for the visually impaired.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing.
They're literally acting as eyes for their human partners.
I mean, think about navigating a busy street or, avoiding obstacles.
Right.
That is a huge responsibility.
It is, and it's remarkable how they're trained for it.
So it's not just like basic obedience training.
Right. Not at all.
It's way more than that.
They have to learn intelligent disobedience.
Intelligent disobedience. What is that?
So it means that if the handler gives a command that would put them in danger,
Okay.
the dog is trained to disobey.
Oh, wow.
They're taught to prioritize safety above all else.
So like if a handler told the dog to walk forward, but there was a car coming.
Exactly. The dog would refuse to move.
Wow. That is some serious trust right there.
It is. It takes years of specialized training exposing them to all kinds of scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
Busy city crowds, public transport, you name it.
It's like doggy college, but with like way higher stakes.
Right, exactly. And the impact on the humans' lives is just incredible.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
It's not just about convenience, it's about giving people independent safety and the ability to connect with others.
Yeah, a guide dog can literally open up the world for someone.
Absolutely. And then there are therapy dogs.
Oh, right.
They provide a different kind of support.
Like emotional support?
Exactly. They bring a calming presence and unconditional affection to people in hospitals, nursing homes, even schools.
I've seen those pictures of therapy dogs visiting patients.
It's amazing how just being around a dog can make such a difference.
Right.
And there's actual scientific evidence to back it up.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Studies have shown that interacting with therapy dogs can reduce stress hormones, lower blood pressure, and even help with pain management.
Wow, so it's like a furry four-legged prescription for well-being.
You could say that.
That is so cool.
And, you see it most dramatically after disasters like Hurricane Katrina.
Oh, yeah, those images of the therapy dogs with the survivors are just so heartwarming.
In the midst of all that devastation, they bring comfort and a sense of connection.
It's like even if you've lost everything, that dog's presence can still ground you.
Yeah, it's a powerful reminder that there's still good in the world.
Okay, so we've talked about guide dogs and therapy dogs,
Mhm.
but what about like search and rescue dogs and military working dogs?
Oh, yes. Those are the true heroes.
I mean, just thinking about those 9/11 dogs tirelessly searching through the rubble,
It's unbelievable.
or the ones deployed after Hurricane Katrina risking their lives to find missing people.
They go above and beyond.
It's more than just bravery. It's like a level of dedication that's hard to comprehend.
It really is. They're trained for very specific tasks, like sniffing out explosives or finding survivors in collapsed buildings.
And they're not just risking their own lives. They're literally saving human lives.
That's right. And it's not just about finding people either. Military working dogs play a crucial role in detecting threats and protecting their handlers.
I can't even imagine the bond that must form between a handler and their dog in those kinds of situations.
It's incredibly strong. They rely on each other completely.
It's like a partnership forged in the most intense imaginable circumstances.
Absolutely. We're talking about elite units like the Navy SEALs who rely on these dogs for their missions.
Wow.
Cairo, the Belgian Malinois, who was part of the team that took down Osama bin Laden,
I think I've heard of that.
that's a dog who made history.
So we've got dogs guiding the blind, comforting the grieving,
Yeah.
sniffing out danger, and even taking part in some of the most important military operations in history.
It's pretty incredible when you think about how far they've come from those early scavengers at campsites.
It really is. But, at the end of the day, for most people, it comes down to that one furry friend curled up on the couch.
That's true. That connection, that bond is at the heart of it all.
And that's a whole other aspect of this journey that we need to explore.
Oh, definitely. From working animal to beloved companion.
Right. We've talked about the incredible history of dogs, their amazing skills, all the important jobs they do.
Mm-hmm.
But for most of us, I think it really boils down to that one furry friend,
Yeah.
curled up on the couch, the one who greets you at the door.
Absolutely. It's that simple human-dog bond that's at the heart of it all.
It's funny because we've been talking about science and history and evolution,
Right.
but for me, it's really those everyday moments that get me,
Oh, yeah.
that wagging tail when you come home,
Yeah.
the furry alarm clock licking your face at like 6 in the morning.
Maybe not always appreciating the alarm clock part, but
Yeah, maybe not so much the alarm clock part.
it's that unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
They're just happy you're there.
It doesn't matter if you've had a good day or a bad day. They don't judge.
Exactly. And, it's not just some sentimental idea. It's actually rooted in our biology.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Millions of years of coevolution have wired us for this connection.
Wow.
And there's a ton of research now on the actual health benefits of having a dog.
I've heard about that, like lower blood pressure, reduce stress.
It's true. Studies have shown that just interacting with dogs releases oxytocin.
Oxytocin.
Yeah, the love hormone. And it's not just in humans, it happens in dogs too.
So you're telling me those puppy dog eyes are like scientifically engineered to make me feel good?
Pretty much.
That's amazing.
It is, and it goes beyond just the physical benefits too. Dogs can have a huge impact on our mental and emotional well-being.
In what way?
Well, they teach us responsibility, they encourage us to be more active, and they force us to be present in the moment.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
It's like having a furry little therapist reminding you to slow down and enjoy the simple things in life.
I love that.
And you know, it's fascinating how this whole idea of the human-dog bond has shaped our culture.
Oh yeah, how so?
Well, we've gone from dogs being working animals primarily kept outside
Right.
to dogs sleeping in our beds, having their own Instagram accounts.
The dogification of society.
Exactly. We have dog birthday parties, gourmet dog food, doggy daycare.
Sometimes I wonder if we've gone a little overboard.
Maybe a little, but I think it reflects how deeply integrated dogs have become in our lives.
That's true. I mean, they're everywhere.
They're in our movies or advertising. They're cultural icons.
And we project so much onto them.
We do, but maybe that's part of the magic. You know,
Yeah.
we see ourselves in them, that loyalty, that unconditional love.
Yeah,
It's something that I think we all crave.
I think you're right.
And dogs give it so freely, no judgment, just pure affection.
It's a good reminder in a world that can feel pretty complicated sometimes.
It really is.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm just left with this feeling of awe. You know, we've come such a long way from wolves on the edge of firelight to these amazing creatures who are such an important part of our lives.
It's an incredible story.
It really is, and it's a story that's still being written.
Absolutely. Who knows what the future holds for the human-dog bond?
Well, I, for one, am excited to find out.
Me too.
And on that note, I think I'm going to go give my dog an extra long walk and maybe a treat or two.
Sounds like a good plan.
Thanks for joining us on Study Hall, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Keep those tails wagging and those minds curious.